Hello everyone, this is Share. Welcome to Share Space. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please watch, comment, share and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. In chapter 8, we have seen that Joseph was invited by Jehoiakim and Anna and Mary to accompany them to the special service that was to be conducted by old Zachariah. The four of them had joyfully gone to Jerusalem. When they reached the temple in Jerusalem, Zachariah went to the rooms behind the temple in order to get himself ready. Meanwhile, the other three went to the place where the congregation was. They waited in anticipation for old Zachariah. "Ah," sighed Jehoiakim, "there comes cousin Zachariah now. Joseph, look, there he is. Cousin Elizabeth must have sewn that wonderful robe for him. Why, old Zachariah looked young in his fine raiment. How erect he stood in the gorgeousness of ceremonial robes, stiff and straight and chin up for all his 70 years. A bright gleam was in his fading eyes as he lifted his arms, a sign that the people were to cleanse their hearts with prayer in readiness for the rubric of the sacrifice, the performance of his sacred office. Standing beside the altar of unhewn stone, Zachariah closed his eyes and all the people prayed. Of the thousands praying in the rectangular courts, only cousin Elizabeth knew of one special intention this old priest would be including in his prayers this afternoon. But Joseph could guess from what Mary had told him. Zachariah's faith was tenacious and humble. Some of his relatives call it fanatical and preposterous that though he was past his 80 years and 10, he still asked God dutifully every day that Elizabeth and he might have a child. Now the priest turned and faced the congregation. Hanging from a chain in his right hand was the censer, from which silver smoke plumed upward, and the sweetness of burning spices were carried on chill winds blowing from the living desert of the Dead Sea. "All priests and servants of the living Lord," Zachary said as he held his censer high and let the south and east winds carry off the smoke, while he began to mount the 12 steps, one for each of the tribes of Israel. Lifting the temple veil with his left hand, he disappeared into the tabernacle, the little holy place where minor priests came closer to the presence of God. With bowed heads and closed eyes, the crowd waited. For a long time there was no sound, not even a cough. Then presently Jehoiakim opened one eye and glared at the altar. What was keeping Zachariah so long? No one was to be seen on the platform except the grim, observant figure of Annas the high priest. Jehoiakim gave a puzzled look around at Joseph. Zachariah had already stayed much too long in the holy retreat. Something must be wrong. There was not much for him to do in there. The priest was to stand only for a moment in silent prayer. He must look up at the golden candlesticks and down upon the cakes that are made of wheat and barley with oil or honey. Upon the 12 loaves of the showbread he must look, and then in a prolonged moment of silence, he was supposed to swing the censer 3 times. After these actions were performed, Zachariah was meant to come out of the holy place, face the reverent multitude, and offer up the final prayer. But now 5 minutes had gone by, and there was still no sign of Zachariah. "Something is strange," Jehoiakim murmured to Joseph. Had the old priest fallen ill in his hour of glory? Did anyone dare go to see past the veil and into the holy place? Then suddenly Zachariah came out in a wild rush from the sanctuary, and something very serious was wrong with him. The whole multitude could see that. Swaying dizzily down the 12 steps, he staggered to the rim of the open part of the altar.